In today's video, we are going to talk about solving inequalities, which are just like solving equations, but this time it has that greater than, less than, or the ones with the equal to. So that's the only difference, really. So let's start. Oh, it'd help if I flipped to the right page, wouldn't it? Why are these all the same page? Okay, here we go. Start with here. I can apply properties of addition and subtraction to solve inequalities. And then, if you remember, a couple weeks ago we had some addition and subtraction properties of equality. These are the same thing but of inequality. So it says when you add the same number to each side of an inequality, the inequality remains true. So it's just saying that if you add the same amount to both sides of your greater than or less than sign, it'll be the same thing. So if we had something like 4 is greater than 3, that's true. If we add 2 to both sides, we get 6 is greater than 5, which is still true. So that works. And then the subtraction property of inequality is the same thing but subtraction. So when you subtract the same number from each side of an inequality, the inequality remains true. So if we have 10 is less than or equal to 15, subtract 6 from both sides, you get 4 is less than or equal to 9, and that is still true. So take a second, catch up on the writing, and then we'll move on to an example. All right, so solving inequalities is just like solving equations. So our first step, we're gonna write the example, or write the inequality. X minus 5 is less than or equal to negative 3. And then we have a minus 5. We're subtracting next to the x, so I want to undo that. Undo subtraction. And I undo subtraction by adding 5. By adding, it's the opposite. And that is the addition property. Of inequality. So when I add 5, that gets rid of the 5 on this side. I'm left with x is less than or equal to negative 3 plus 5 is negative 2. That step is simplifying. And we need to check our work. What I do is I take, for this one, since there's an equal to, I take my proposed minus 2. I substitute it in for x. Sorry, it's not a negative 2, it's a positive 2. Don't know what I was thinking. It's positive 2. Anyway, so we substitute 2 in for x. We get that negative 3 is less than or equal to negative 3, and that works, so that's correct. I'm going to graph it. I'm going to graph this one. So I'm going to find 2. There's an equal to component, so I fill it in. And then x is less than that, so it's going to go this way. All right, let's go to the next one. Example 2. Same thing, we're going to start by writing the inequality. Then I have a plus 7 next to my x. I'm going to undo addition. So I undo that by subtracting 7 from both sides. And that's the subtraction property of inequality. Then I need to simplify. 13 minus 7 is 6, which leaves me with x on that side, so 6 is greater than x. Then I'm going to graph. So here's my 6. It's just a greater than sign or less than sign. So there's no equal part, so it's just an open circle. So 6 is greater than x, or if you flip it, you can think about x is less than 6. Oops, there we go. It's gonna go this way. You can check some, you can say 5, 6 is greater than 5, 6 is greater than 0. Anything that's this way will be shaded in. Refocus a little bit. All right, just a couple more. Write the inequality. I have subtraction next to my y, so we're going to undo that by adding. So if we add 6 to both sides, that's the addition property of inequality. I'm left with y is greater than or equal to negative 1. So that's simplifying. Then we're going to go ahead and graph. I find negative 1. Y is greater than or equal to it, so I go ahead and fill in that circle. It's a closed circle. And then y is anything that's greater than negative 1, which is going to be all of these numbers over here. Right. Last page. I want you to go ahead, pause the video, just 1 second, and then I want you to try example 4 on your own. So take 2 to 3 minutes, pause, try this one on your own, and then we'll come back. Alright, so while you're doing that on your own, I went ahead and filled in these blanks real quick. And then we have k plus 3. I need to undo addition by subtracting 3 from both sides. And since k is less than 1, then go ahead and graph. It's just a less than sign, so I'm not going to fill it in. It's an open circle. K is less than 1, so anything on this side. All right, one more. Alright, we're just gonna write the inequality. 2x is greater than 8 plus x. I have an 8 plus x. I want variables on one side. That's this part of our smooch acronym. So I want to move this x over. I'm going to do that by subtracting. And I'm left with 1x is greater than 8. So those steps were undoing addition and the subtraction property of inequality. And then this step right here is simplifying. Then we're going to graph. I find 8. It's an open circle, and then x is greater than 8, so it's going to go this way. So, really similar. Could you even see any of that? I just graphed it. My bad. Really similar to solving equations. If you have any questions, write them on the back of your paper, and then when you're done, go ahead and close your computer, raise your hand, and ask me what you can do next.